Okay, good afternoon, Knicks Nation. Welcome to the next edition of Sky Hoops Knicks Dreams. To join the conversation, drop your comments in the chat room. And if you want to join the panel discussion, I will be dropping the link in the chat room so that you can join us, chop it up with us, share your comments, have a nice discussion, and take it from there. With that being said, I want to welcome my main man, Bill Stradamus, as we engage in a conversation about obviously the Knicks against Philadelphia last. What was it? Yeah, they played Philadelphia last, right? Oh no, it was the Magic. It was the
Thursday.
Magic. They played the Magic. They played the
No,
Magic.
Orlando. It's the Magic.
Yeah, the Magic. Yeah, the Magic. They played the
Yeah,
Magic, and then of course they're going to be playing Philadelphia tonight.
right.
But we'll start off with the Magic, and I'll give you the floor. Take it away, Bill Stradamus.
All right. Nice game there against the Magic. We went in with the attitude of, we got to get this game. And we went out, and it wasn't going to be easy. We all knew it wasn't going to be easy because they have similar style of play, similar team, and similar coaching. Um, we went out there. The coaches battled. We went back and forth. We went up. They came back. They made a game out of it at the end, but we pulled it out the way we were supposed to. Um, a couple of guys had pretty good games, but I want to leave it there right now. And let me give you, or let you give us your take on how you saw the game that went on there against Orlando.
Well, I mean, going into the game, I know we had this discussion in terms of these two teams being mirror images of each other, and that's exactly what we got. You know what I mean? They were pretty much even Stevens throughout the game, although the Knicks seemed to have the upper hand. But nonetheless, every time that the Knicks separated themselves from the Magic, here comes the Magic with another run and closing the gap. So it didn't surprise me. It didn't surprise me in terms of the defense that both teams were playing. It didn't surprise me in terms of the low scoring game because that's who they are. They're both defensive teams first before they are any type of offensive team. It was interesting that during the game they were having a conversation about one of the reasons why I think they started Burks. Yeah, they felt that Burks had um, point guard experience, in the collegiate level, and I think in high school to a certain extent, but he never really utilized those skills in the NBA as much. I think they mentioned that he had a little stint in Philadelphia where he was able to play the position, and so
Yeah,
it was interesting. It was interesting that they brought that up, and it was interesting that they put a little bit more on him in this particular game between him and Frank. Running the point and trying to make things happen. So that was pretty good. That was pretty good. With that being said, I'm gonna pass the mic over to 2.0 so he could give us his take on the on the Orlando
Orlando.
Magic game, and then we can continue to chop it up from this. So go ahead, 2.0.
Oh, thank you very much, Santana. I finally got into a spot where, you know, um, the connection was good, but then the state troopers were pulling people over, and I had to shut off again.
You got to.
Or something
Woo!
was going
You
on
don't want that.
because there was three cars, three state troopers on the side of the road, and a couple of cars on this side. Anyway, thank you for opening up the show. And once again, so uh, it was nip and tuck. Uh, I don't like those type of games against teams that we should be putting away. Um, um, we continue to be shorthanded. We're lucky to get past. I understand that after that, I think did Orlando beat the Nets
Yeah.
after that? And did they beat the Celtics?
I'm not sure about that one, but they did beat Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, they may have.
Yeah, I've been listening to the NBA channel radio this morning, and I'm listening to a lot of things. Um, so yeah, listen, I said before, we don't need no moral victories. Um, this is a victory. It was a win, flat out win. Whether you win by 1 point or by 100 points, you win.
Yeah, he's breaking up. Go ahead, Bill. Take it up from the. Oh,
So
okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
dude, he's back.
Being this short-handed, it's icing on the cake, man. And we should be blessed to get these wins, but I don't like it. I don't like beating the Orlando Magic by 2 points on a defensive play. What turned into a defensive play because of poor offensive play. So that sucks, man. Don't put me through that ringer, please. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying after the game to Santana, these goddamn people, they're putting me through. These are the cardiac attack moments. You
You
know,
calling
I
the
don't.
cardiac kids?
Yes, I don't care how good it feels to have that win. I don't want to go through that kind of emotional up and down to get the win. You know, we had the ball, we gave it away, and then we have to win it again. You know, and the problem with that is that those games in the past turned into 3-point plays for the loss, for the win on the other team or for the other team. So, hey, maybe this is a sign of things to come, that these close wins, these close games are going to go in our favor. So that's the plus that I can take out of that game. I don't have any stats in front of me. Um, um, we had good production from Burks. We had good production from the Killer Bees.
The Killer
The
Bees.
Killer Bees became Killer Bees instead of Kill Us Bees. Instead of because even though Bullock almost turned into a Kill Us Bees.
Yeah,
You know, he almost killed us with
the
his
turnover.
clumsy play at the end, but then he turned it around with his defensive play. Oh shit! I just hit a hole that I didn't need to hit. Anyway, everything seems to be working okay. Anyway, so that's what it is. I think I'm gonna hit another dead spot on this road right here. So I'm gonna hand the mic over. I'm gonna throw a lob, and whoever is closest to it
I
is the
got it.
one that's gonna catch this one. So there he goes.
I got it. Bang.
All right.
Now, to go back to what you said, yes, it was the Killer Bees, but it was also U-Haul with the triple dub. 18 points, 10 rebounds, and check this out, 17 assists. 17 assists for U-Haul. To which I was having a conversation with my little brother. He said, Randall's the best point guard on the Knicks. I said, yeah, you may be right. You may be right. However, I pointed out during the game that Burks, that was the best game I've ever seen that dude play. That dude, it was a stretch in the second quarter
Okay.
where I said, what this dude was watching some Kobe tapes before the game or something like that. This guy handled the ball. He had the confidence. He was dribbling, weaving through, pulling up, going to the basket. He was doing it all. It was a nice 2 to 3 minute stretch
Fade
in that
away.
second quarter when he held us down. So the Killer Bees, U-Haul, gave us that W. Not much from anybody else. Oh, my bad. Frank
Okay.
shot his way out of that slump. He started off with an 0 for, I don't know, maybe 0 for 3 or whatever. Okay, he started off that way.
Mhm.
However, he pulled up, hit that one shot, and then from there, he was on a little roll. And did y'all check that
That's
play
right.
where he went down the lane? What did he try to do? Throw it with 2 hands? He tried to throw it on somebody,
Two
He,
hands.
he missed the dunk, but the ball still went in and won. And that facial expression that he had, I wish I
And
could
what?
have captured that, and I wanted to send that on the chat because he was
Yo,
looking
it's
he was
like,
looking
you
like
want to
this is what
trade
I
me?
do.
You want to trade me?
Yeah, yeah. He looked like this is what I do. What's wrong with y'all? But Frankie, he showed up. 27 minutes, 13 points, couple of rebounds and an assist, and that game may have kept him around past the trade deadline. But I'm gonna leave it at that for now. I'm gonna slip over a nice no look pass to my man Santana.
Yeah, I mean, you guys touched up on a couple of things there, and what I'm gonna say in terms of, you know, well, the cardiac kids. I mean, I come to expect this, because I expected them to be a 500 team this year, which means you're gonna have highs and lows. You're gonna take one step forward, another step back, one step forward, another step back. That's what I expect out of them. If anything, I try to, interpret these types of games for them as a growing opportunity. You know, that's a growing opportunity for them to be able to learn how to play the close games because it's easy to win games when you're winning by a big margin, and it's easy to lose a game when you're losing by a big margin. But when you got to play those close games, those really test, your discipline. It really tests whether or not you can handle the pressure of playing those tight games, and that's only going to play into how they continue to play throughout the season. In addition to that, you also have a situation where you have guys that are injured that are not playing that are your frontline players. So these guys that are backup players are getting the minutes, which is important because those minutes only helps the team in the long run. It adds to their depth. It positions them to actually have that game time experience as opposed to just practice, because practice is valuable, but nothing beats game time experience. Those close games are an opportunity for them to learn how to win and lose those games so
Absolutely.
that hopefully by the next time that they play a game like that, they're better prepared to perform in those moments. So I'm not surprised that it was one of those games, but I was happy to see that they pulled out one of those games, especially the Franks of the world, the Burks of the world, the Bullocks of the world, because they add to our depth. They're not our frontline scorers or guys that we depend on, but they are our backups, and that's good. In terms of Randall, I know that there's some folks that they were like, oh, but he's not scoring and all this. I said, yeah, but he's got these assists that are leading to scoring. Is putting other people in a position to score. That's a good thing. Yeah, we want him to perform up to, all-star standards every single game. But that's still all-star numbers. 17 assists?
That's ridiculous.
Man, that's no joke. Those are
Right.
those are points. 17 assists is equivalent to 34 points at minimum if you're not including any threes. You know what I'm saying? So that's 34 points that he's contributing to, indirectly,
Wow.
aside from the ones that he's directly, uh, providing. So that's the way that I see that game. I want to pass it up to 2.0, get his take, get his a few more takes on this, and then we can move on to the next you know person. Go ahead, 2.0. Can you hear us, 2.0?
Yo, excuse me. Like
You're breaking up again. All right, go ahead, Bill, because right now we're losing him.
All
you
right.
got me.
Yeah, you're in and out.
You're in and out. You're in and out.
Okay, I'll be back. I gotta go
Okay,
inside,
no
and
problem.
I just got to
You
my
got it.
house, and I'm
You
gonna
got it.
go
We
Okay.
can
inside
hear you
and
now.
log into the computer.
Yeah, but let him log in. Let him
Oh,
log
okay.
in. He doesn't
Okay.
have to explain. Just log in. Go ahead.
All
Go
right.
ahead, brother.
All right. great point that you made with regard to playing in those tough moments and those tough situations. This will be it was definitely a learning experience that hopefully they'll carry on to future games, because they are going to encounter these tight games. It's just bound to happen. And it doesn't have to be with one of the top teams either. It can be with any team that shows up, because on any given day, a team can overtake another team. Now, what I did also observe, and I think I mentioned this in the chat, there was a particular part of the game, I think in the fourth quarter, where he rested some guys. And I pointed out, I said, okay, he's resting them for the last couple of minutes of the game. And exactly how I, saw it, or how I called it, he put in the horses that he was going to finish in the game with at maybe, I want to say maybe the 3 minute and something and change mark. And those are the guys that took us out for the rest of the game. Want to read the dream he sends in? He said, Frank with the Billy Ho dunk from White Men Can't Jump. That's the one that I had mentioned. When he came in, Frank came in with two hands. I said, what's Frank trying to do? He's trying to tomahawk? And then, but still, the most priceless piece was afterwards, when everybody was tugging on his jersey and beating him up, and he just had the ice grill, like yeah, this is what I do. This is what I do. And I just hope that all of the Frank haters saw that a little bit, because that put a big smile on my face. That had me in here, cheering for him even more.
3 or 4 days.
Now, on the other end, what do I mean? On the other end, for the other team. Now, I was wrong. I thought Terrence Ross definitely was going to play. He didn't. However, they still came to play. We had to deal with them. Was it Eric Fournier? Fournier came. He was acting like like he was there. He played 30 plus minutes, but he dropped 23 on us. 23, and he had 4 assists. So he came out with a good game. Vucevic, that dude, I like his game. Vucevic is a really good big man. Now he usually scores more than what he did against us. He had 17, but he had 16 boards and 4 assists. That's he plays like an all-star. And then you had Aaron Gordon, who put up some decent numbers on us. He was 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. So on their end, and then you had some other guys who chipped in. You had that kid Bacon. Bacon killed us the previous game, but we kind of kept him under wraps. He only had 7. And you had the kid Birch with 7. Then a couple of other guys with 5 points here, 7 points here, that type of thing. But the reason the game was close, it was because of the coaching. And because of our team styles, very similar style of team and very similar coaching. And I saw, you saw where Magic's coach, he called we just call a timeout and maybe score a bucket or two, and then he calls a quick timeout and start getting into his players, and then they come out and then they were playing a little better. So I appreciated that. It was a good game. And what's Dream say now? Knicks should consider Fournier for the shooting guard spot. Hey, perhaps we should. Perhaps we should. But I don't want to take up too much of the time. Let me slide it over to 2.0. Seems to have gotten himself situated. So I'll take it over, 2.0.
Yeah. Thank you, Bill Stradamus. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we won every category except for the foul. Okay, we were horrible at the foul line. If it would have made your free throws, that would have been such a close game at the end. Okay, as Dream likes to put it, we were in the 80s. We took 86 shots. Okay, we the 3-pointers, 34 is a lot, but we made 14 of them. Versus they took 34 and they only made 10 of them.
Right.
For a minute there, that kid Fourneau, I think his name is, man, he got hot for a second there, and I was afraid that he was gonna take over the game and kill us. They beat us in the points in the paint. you know. Um, and so everything else was pretty even. Um, I would not be. This would not be a complete episode for me if I didn't bring up my boy. Okay, he did what he was supposed to do. He gave me
Riddler.
17 points and 9 rebounds. Okay, so he was in the game. He was productive. I don't know about the plus or minuses, while he was in the game. That's a different category that I used to see while I was doing some other research. I might like to get back to that at some point. But he gave me, RJ. You know RJ, bro. Don't me ask you who we talking about.
He was solid. He was a third of the killer bees for this
good.
game.
Good, because that's what we need. I keep talking about that we have. It's an offense by committee. We don't have the luxury of 3 all-stars. We have to have the killer bees, Bullock and Burke, give us double-digit points. We need we need their 12 to 15 points a game. And when Bullock can get, and when Burks can give me 21, whoa. That's what he was averaging before he got hurt. Remember, fellas, this is not like, wow, where did this guy come from? No. This is who he is. And hopefully this is what he will continue to be. You can talk about Franks and, all of a sudden, he finds his shot. But Bullock is a bona fide scorer. You can write down his numbers in the beginning of the game.
Are you saying Bullock or Burks?
Oh, I'm saying Burks. I'm sorry,
okay.
Burks. You can write his numbers in the beginning of the game, and I could say 18 to 23 at the beginning of the game.
At the beginning of the season,
that's my expectation from him.
At the beginning of the season, that's what it was.
Say it again.
That's what it was at the beginning of the season for him. But once he went down and once he came back, he hasn't been as consistent as we would like him to be. And brings back to the point, your man is part of the killer bees. He shouldn't be. He's expected to be the second option.
He's expected
to be the second.
Oh, he's a B too, right?
He's a B, yeah. But he's one of the killer bees. But our expectations of him is to be that second guy, that go-to guy, so that Randall can rest a little bit throughout the game and do
wait.
Lower your expectations.
Wait. Say it again, Bill.
He's not the second option.
Bill Thomas.
To be the second option.
He's not the second option.
He is.
Who told you that? Where is it?
By virtue of the fact that dude
you're breaking up, Bill. I guess that was mean something.
A couple of seasons ago, a number 3 pick, and he is actually, when we picked him, I think the expectation was him to be the number 1. That no one knew that Randall would develop into what he turned into, and therefore that automatically threw Mr. Barrett as the number 2 option. And he has been very inconsistent in that number 2 option, which is why now he has become part of the killer bees. The 3 bees who happen to have a great game against the Magic.
May I respond to that?
Absolutely.
So, first of all, we have Hakeem. He is sending out a text. He says Knicks should consider Fournier for the shooting guard spot. Okay, thank you, Hakeem, for that. I don't know whether or not he can get.
We got it on screen. We got it on screen. We'll talk about it.
Okay. Anyway, but he can't get on the show.
I don't know. Okay. I'll send him the link. Go ahead.
Well, you're the man,
Go ahead.
So, in response to the Barrett situation, okay. Listen, if we're gonna go by when they were drafted, then we're gonna talk about Frank. Then we're going to talk about Obi, and then we're going to talk about expectations all over the place. Okay? He was, again, the best available player for us at the time because Zion got gifted to New Orleans. Okay? Everybody in everybody's mind, and in the Knicks world, Zion was coming to New York until the day of the lottery. And then it was like, holy cow. So then we didn't know what was going to happen. He got thrown into a situation simply because he got picked at number 2, or because he fell to us at number 2. Now,
3.
if we all had expectation that because he was picked number 2, that he was going to be the number 2 option, then I think we place a little too much expectation on an unproven entity. It's like us now saying that give Obi an opportunity because, and I'm saying, yo, he got picked number 2. Why isn't he better than what he is? So, we got to be careful about putting all of these expectations on players. And that's why I'm scaling it back. And I'm saying we have number 2 option by committee, and we have point guard by committee. As a matter of fact, we even got center by committee. The only true position that we have solid is a power forward, which turns into a point forward, has turned into a point forward for us, a la Anthony Mason, and that's it, right? Who else was in that category? Oh, LeBron James, So let's keep it real here. Everybody else is just another B plus, A minus player who can get off on any given night, but not that he's coming in there every night and you can write it down that he's going to give you 25, 28. I'd say 18 to 20 for everybody else. And if I could get 18 to 20 from 3 killer bees and 25 and 12 rebounds and 10 assists from a power forward, I'm in good shape. I could win a lot of those games. But don't throw it out here on anybody's shoulder. And maybe that's the thing, that if we put that responsibility on them, they take that responsibility, or they hear that and they think that they're supposed to be somebody better than who they are. And he's not better than who he is. He's a second tier good player. He's not an all-star. So let's not give him that spot yet. Take it away, Santana.
Listen, you may make a good argument. Now, Bill, you're muted. So if you want to chime in, you're welcome to, but you're muted. You may make a good argument for the killer bees and who belongs in the killer bees and who shouldn't be in the killer bees and all of that good stuff. However, okay, when Barrett was drafted number 3, not number 2,
However,
okay, when he was drafted number 3, not number 2, because you had Zion, you had Morant number 2, and then you had Barrett number 3. He came into the Knicks team and he was expected to be the guy.
Oh!
Let me finish. We let you say your whole dissertation. Now I need you to listen, brother. Okay? I didn't agree with it, but I let you finish. Okay? Here it is. Okay? This is my take. Okay? Don't poo-poo it. All right? Now, when he came on board to the Knicks, he was
drop
expected
it
to be
on
the
him,
guy.
Poppy. Drop it.
Okay? He was expected to be the guy. Okay? So much so that he, in his own mind, felt that he should have been the number 1 option on offense. Let me finish. Let me finish.
No, wait.
Let me finish. You can disagree. That's okay. We can agree to disagree. But let me finish. Okay? Bottom line is, okay, when you have a guy that's in the top 3, they're expected to be franchise players in general. Now, you want to compare him to Obi. Obi's an 8th pick. He's not a top 2 or 3 pick. He's an 8th pick. All right. But when you have your top 3, those are considered potential franchise player for the organization that drafts them. That's the expectation of the media. That's the expectation of the fans. That's the expectation of the teammates. And most likely, that's the expectation of the player that's being selected top 3. So we could choose to parse our words and say, "Oh no, he's not as good as this," and all of that. But that's not the reality. When he was drafted, in spite of the fact that he wasn't better than Zion or or Morant, he was still expected to be on this Knicks team the guy,
Woo!
the
Doing what
franchise.
they're doing what they're doing for their teams.
Exactly.
Yo, you
Exactly. No,
guys
no, no,
haven't
no.
looked at the roster for that year.
Hold on, hold on,
We
hold on.
still have KP.
We
We have Randall. We have Marcus Morris. And you think that he's going to be number one over all of those names?
Did you hear what I said? I think, Bill, tell me to say it again, please.
Bill is
Go ahead,
frozen.
Bill. Bill froze on me. Okay, I'll say it myself. Say it again, Santana. All right. When he was drafted, in spite of the fact that you have the KPs of the world, the Morrises of the world, and all of these folks, when he was drafted, he
Yeah,
was expected to be that next guy for the Knicks.
but not the
That,
number
that-
one option. Don't say number one option.
in his mind,
No,
in his mind,
Yep.
come
okay,
on. Are you?
okay, good, good, good,
You must have
good.
been delusional
Oh,
to think
okay,
that he's no better than
Let me
KP
wait, wait,
and Randall.
wait.
Come on.
Let me read
go ahead,
what Dream.
Mr.
Let me
Bill.
read Dream's next comment up here. Dream, the our statistician, our main guy, he says top 3 picks have an expected production output. The Riddler, aka Mr. Barrett, hasn't been able to be the lead with Randall here. Thus, he hasn't built consistency yet. So the three of us are trying to tell you something, 2.0.
And
We're
you're not
trying to tell
hearing
you
it, bro.
something. But he in his feelings about his
He
dude.
can't be the lead guy. He can't be the
Listen,
lead guy with Randall
we
here.
love him as we love him, but we're real, as you always say. We're giving you the real about him.
Keep
That's
it real.
your line. That's your
Keep it real.
keeping it
He's
real.
not the
That's
number
you,
one
right?
option. He's not the number one option.
We know that. He's
He
not the number
cannot be
two
the number
for
one
whatever
option.
reason.
He wasn't drafted here to be
So
the
he's
number.
been reduced to being in a triplet within the team, which we like to call the killer bees.
That's right.
And he's a little more consistent than the other 2 killer bees. However, he is not consistent enough for us to be able to rely on him to be that second option when U-Haul is tired in the fourth or got a triple double and he's about to pass out, and then in the fourth quarter if we need a shot, we're still trying to give it to him to get the shot because your guy is not reliable. So that's all we're trying to say. Hopefully he'll get there. We know he works on his game, and he is better this season than he was last season. So, but we're just giving you the real. He ain't there yet. He ain't there, and he may not get there. But so you have to consider that as well. We got what? We got less than a week before the trade deadline, and we will see if the Knicks management is thinking on the same lines as us, and they decide to bring somebody in to be either the first or second option, which will slide Mr. Barrett into a totally different category. Because depending on who that person is, if we should make a move, that's going to change the whole complexity of how we're playing, and it might even break up the killer bees. So with that said, I will give it to you so you can, finish crying. Respectfully.
Hold on a minute. I don't have the tissues here.
And Mr. Dream, he says, say it again.
Listen, this is what happens with the Knicks fan base. Okay, as soon
Okay.
when we're doing bad, we have to develop a core group. when we start to develop a core group, we start talking about we have to bring in different guys, even if we have to blow up this core group. So we always in this vicious cycle of trying to get better, but resetting the team, trying to get better and resetting. And all we do is take 2 steps forwards and 3 steps backwards. You know, what are we talking about? Let's ride this wave. We got picks. We got money to buy in the off season to bring in guys. But what do you want to do? You want to bring 2 or 3 guys for the last 25 games of the season to make it to what? To the 5th or 4th? And then what? At the end of the year, what? Restart all over again? Well, I don't know. Which way are we going here? We got to keep. Look, Barrett is producing to the best of his ability. Okay? And I don't see why moving back where we don't need help so much at these 2 positions. What we need mostly help is at the point guard and at the center. Okay? Because Barrett, Bullocks, and Burks give us a number 2 option. Okay?
By committee, right?
Bullocks and Burke give us a number 2 option. Okay, so what do you want? You got the number 1 option, you got a number 2 option, but we never can throw the ball down low. Let's address that. We can never throw the ball down low. There's nobody there to catch it and do anything with it. That's why we all play so much slashing, these guys slashing, and then taking shots, ill-advised 3-pointers. Because that's all we got. It's either somebody's going to the basket or somebody's taking a shot from the outside. When are we throwing the ball down low? Now, Randall is moving further and further out. He's catching the ball instead of on the blocks. He's catching it like at the elbow or at the in between the lane and the 3-point line. His big butt should be parked down there. Okay, set that pick on the blocks, turn around and catch the ball on the blocks. But he's halfway between because he wants to step out and take a 3.
And he's good at doing that.
Yeah,
superstars have the luxury of letting the game come to them, taking what's given to them, and helping the others game rise because he has that ability. 17 assists. Listen, he could catch it. He could catch it in the locker room. If you're gonna give me 17 assists, I don't care where they give you the ball at.
Okay, but then he only put me 18 points, not 30.
I'd rather this game from him than him having 30 points and the Killer Bees all combined having a total of 25 points and then we losing the game. I'd rather those numbers.
No.
I'd rather those numbers consistent.
I'm not going with 8 points each of the Killer Bees. I'm going with 18 to 20 from the Killer Bees. That's 60 points.
When has this ever happened prior to this game, though? It may have happened. Well, I would have to, look back. We'd have to
say it again. Say it again, Bill. Say it again. Say it again.
When has that happened? It may have happened one other time this year. It may have. I can't say that it has. But this game, that last game that they played against Orlando was the best production from the Killer Bees, in my opinion, this season.
Very good.
But let me chime in now.
And
let me chime in.
Go ahead. I was passing it over to you. Pass it over to you, Santana.
Yeah, it's 2.0. You kill yourself, brother. You kill yourself with your arguments because you're saying one thing now, but off camera we had a conversation yesterday, I believe, regarding getting a second option. Now you're talking about this vicious cycle of turning over the team, and we're never getting past that, and so forth and so on. But yet you were advocating for a Levine trade now, not next year, not next season, not in the offseason. Now, those are your words. So I'm a little confused here. 2.0. What is it going to be, brother? Is it going to be what you just said now on camera, or what you told me yesterday off camera in terms of a second option? Because
Levine.
I'm a
Levine.
Levine, yeah, from Chicago.
I,
From Chicago. We talked
don't know.
about Lonzo Ball. We talked
You
about
must have
Lonzo
been
Ball.
talking to your girlfriend or somebody.
No. Hear me out.
I
Hear me
never
out.
said that Levine
Listen,
was an
listen,
option for this year.
listen. We were talking about the potential trade to bring in Alonzo, and you raise, because I mentioned the argument about what Lonzo brings to the team in terms of facilitating, opening up the offense, rebounding, and defense. And you said to me verbatim, okay, what we need is a second option, a scoring option. I'm not worried about Alonzo. We got to assist people. Those are your words.
No. You must have been on another show, man.
No. This is when I was walking up the hill to do the test for the COVID test, and we were having that conversation, brother, yesterday at around 10 o'clock in the morning.
Hmm. Oh,
Man, you better
I better take some
recollect.
people below because I don't
You
remember
better,
that
oh,
conversation.
brother, you were
I'll be
talking
telling
about
you that
Levine.
what we need is Levine.
You said rather than Alonzo, you would rather go with a Levine because a
Mm,
Levine is going to bring you
mm.
more a scoring option, a bona fide scoring option, brother. I'm not making this stuff up.
Oh, so you're talking about whether we had an option between Alonzo Ball and Levine.
I
Not that
I
I said to
no no no
you
no no
we
no
should
no no
bring in Levine.
no. I have mentioned to you that the rumors that were being put out there was that Lonzo is being considered to be brought on with the Knicks. Him and potentially what's his name? The shooting guard from New Orleans, that he's on the walk here as well. And you brought up Levine in that conversation.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay,
as a second option, brother. I'm
okay,
not making this up, brother. This is your words.
okay. So what is the
So
point that you're trying to make now
I,
between that?
I'm trying to understand,
That I'm
what is it going to be? Is it going to be a Levine option, or is it going to be what we have right now? Because now what you're saying is, oh, we good with what we have. We shouldn't be considering a second option. So you tell me.
I say we stick to what we have.
Okay. Okay.
I
It's
say
yeah,
we stick
it's
to what
funny
we
that y'all had that conversation yesterday because I had a similar conversation with my against my father and my brother.
Mm-hmm.
We were all together, and they were both saying, "Oh man, they're talking about us getting JJ Redick," and I'm saying, "Okay, JJ Redick," and I said, "But I think I would rather." And my brother cut me off. I know you're going to say Lonzo Ball, right? They both jumped me like Lonzo Ball. He's not this and he's not that, and I said, "Listen." I said the defense. I said he's a facilitator. They both said he's just as good as him. And Lonzo's stats are better, little better than Peyton's stats.
Yeah,
Then
he's
it's
shooting
well
37% from
defense.
three.
I said that dude plays. I said the dude plays defense. He's a defensive player. He's a very good defensive player. And then they both said, "Well, then who you would rather have him over us having JJ Redick?" I said, "Yes." I said because JJ Redick right now, JJ Redick is what is early to mid 30s, and I'm looking long term. So Lonzo would be a better fit for us. I said JJ will come in and hopefully hit a few buckets for us when we get in the playoffs this year. But then going forward, if we're still in need of a point guard, it speaks for itself. I would definitely rather have if you had to have the two. I said I wish we could get both. However, if you guys are asking me which one, I would take Lonzo Ball. And they both shot that down. Then we got into it about Ben Simmons again, and they was trying to shoot that down. And I was like, listen, I said you guys want flashy players or something. That must be your reasoning because both of those guys are productive and very good distributors, and they make players around them better. In my opinion, and therefore, I think that Lonzo Ball, if we can somehow get that brother over here without having to give up half of the team or whatever, I think we should. I think we should get that dude over here. I think we should.
Let,
Take it, Santana.
let me let me just say this. And on that same conversation 2.0 that we had, we talked about Cunningham because we were talking about this draft coming up, and would we take a Cunningham? And I said, look, I would love a Cunningham, but we will not be able to pick that kid because he's going to be in the top of the draft board. He's going to be selected 1, 2, or 3. Therefore, I
Right.
would go for Lonzo Ball because you got a proven commodity, a guy that knows the league, that we know what we're going to get out of him. So I don't know if you remember the conversation because, brother, you and I were having that conversation yesterday. Yesterday at 10 a.m. Unless you don't want to admit it. That's what it is. Look, he don't want to admit it. That's what it is. He knows we had that conversation. Go ahead. Go ahead,
The,
2.0. Go
the
ahead. Go
look,
ahead.
the
Go
look
ahead.
on your face 2.0. The look on your
Guilty.
face 2.0. Guilty.
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 Guilty as charged.
I'm telling you, man.
Go ahead, 2.0.
I
Go
don't know.
ahead.
I don't know. Sometimes, in life, um, you know, things happen that you don't, people see one way and you see another way, and I don't remember all of it. But anyway, we're a little bit up against the clock, and I don't know
We, we,
how
we,
you
we're
guys
good.
can continue. But yeah, I'm just saying that at this point, um, we are who we are. One or two more players are not going to make us championship contenders. Um, and I'd rather not go that route again. We always try to bring in, the next superstar to make us go in one direction, but then the chemistry isn't there. Okay, so there goes Dream talking nonsense. Okay, we were in the car today, and he was talking about we should give up on Randall, trade Randall to get Cap. How do you guys feel about that,
I wouldn't trade Randall. I build around Randall.
Bill?
Okay, go ahead, Bill.
Well, Dream,
Bill, you're muted.
Dream says
You're muted, Bill.
package him up and go get
He
Cap.
said, well, right now he's saying old people be lying.
Yeah, but he said
That's
that
on
a
the
while
screen.
ago. That he said that. So I'm saying we didn't have that conversation. We didn't have this conversation
I,
about.
I wouldn't trade him. I'd want to keep him because he's proven that he can take that step back and let others do what they need to do. He's proven that. He's proven that this whole season. He's proven that, okay, if I have to do everything, I can do everything. If I don't have to do everything, I can just sit back and I can control the boards this game. I can control the facilitating this game. I can control the scoring this game. Julius Randle has made himself one of the top players in the whole league. Done it himself. And the thing is, none of us saw it coming. That's all. He is twice as good. He is twice as better than he was last season. Twice as better, Julius Randle. And we didn't. No one saw it coming. However, since now we see what it is, we can build around him.
And the other thing about Julius is, okay, you think about the market that he's playing. Not every player is built to play in New York. He's proven, in spite of the year that he had last year, and more so because of the year that he had last year, that he didn't put up the kind of numbers that he expected, or even that the team may have expected. But he was able to withstand the scrutiny that comes with being the guy, and then turning it up another level this year to take him to another to all-star level. So to replace that is not that easy in New York. You guys know that. New York is a pressure cooker. Whether it's the media, whether it's the fans, whether it's the pressure that culminates all on the player. A lot of players can't play in this market because they can't deal with all of that. And he's proven that he can. And that's why you build around him, because we already know he can handle the smoke in New York. Not every player that you bring in here can handle the smoke. Okay. Whereas I would bring in a complimentary player. And as a matter of
Absolutely.
fact, a complimentary player like Lonzo would be a perfect fit. He doesn't need to be the front guy. He's the assist guy. He'll be setting everybody up. And I even said it
Ah,
yesterday when I spoke with you, Henry, about the fact that if I had to trade Alfred to get Lonzo, I would do it because he's going to give us more than Alfred. Plus, he's shooting 37% from 3-point line. So, believe you me, we had this conversation. But you know, as some people say, old people be lying, man. That's all I gotta say, bro. That's all I gotta
That's
say.
all there is to say. That's all there is to say. And I stick to my guns. We never had this conversation.
You're such a liar,
Okay.
bro. You're such
So,
a liar.
yeah, no, I did have a lot of conversation about trade possibilities and stuff like that today with Dream, and that was one of the points that was brought up, and I kind of like disagree with that. That maybe we should package Randall and get help at another position because I feel like we just like I told him we're just switching seats on the Titanic. It's like okay, so you're giving me Cat for Randall. Did I get any better or just stay the same? I stayed the same. I'm still in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? So that's just part of what that conversation was about. And that was that. As far as tonight's game is concerned, where we're going to go with that? When are we going to get to that?
Yeah, we could start now. You could kick it off.
I just kind of want to say that they are shorthanded. They're still coming in here,
yeah.
and I believe they beat the Kings. Was it last night? And when we played them, we were going into the second game of a back-to-back, and now they're coming to us in the second game of a back-to-back. They don't have the who is I'm not going to call him their killer bees, but he's a Nick killer, Curry,
Well, Baby Splash. Baby
baby
Splash.
splash,
He's not playing.
killer C,
He's not playing.
killer C. How about that? The killer C. And he's not playing today. We don't have Quigley, as far as I see, or Rose. So that's also going to affect us in some way. Maybe your boy can have a decent game again. Um, Frank, you know, and I'm looking forward to a much a better game out of the rest of the squad. And I know that, we should win this game, man. We should win this game. No question about it. Let me close this door.
Go ahead, Bill.
Take it away, Bill. You're frozen.
I agree with you. We should win this game. Oh, I'm frozen.
You're
No,
good
you're
now.
good.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree. We should win this game. I agree that we should win this game because of the fact that they're down a couple of players. And I saw one report, but I saw this yesterday that said that Ben Simmons was probable, but they gave the same they gave the same report. They both said probable or something to that effect. So if Ben plays and Alfred plays, I still expect us to get the W. We still have to keep our eye on and do a better job with Baby Mello this time, aka Tobias Harris, and I think we can. I think we can. I think we should get this one. We at the crib, and I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna pass it over to my man Santana.
Yeah, I expect a better outcome or a winning outcome for this game, and the reason why is because I feel that adjustments will be made from the prior game to this game. You know, it's tough. The only team that has beat us on consecutive attempts was the Miami Heat.
Mm.
Okay. Other
Right.
than that, anytime that we lost to a team and we played them again, we beat them. We made the adjustments. And I anticipate the same to happen today. I do expect that those adjustments will be made. They will probably force. They'll try to make Harris, not be the guy to beat them. If anything, maybe a Simmons, if you could keep him out of the paint, and try to
Right.
encourage him to shoot the ball as opposed to drive the ball. So, and if Curry's out, then you got to depend on Green, and Green is hit or miss. Um, so, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I do expect that an adjustment is going to be made where they're going to try to take the ball away from Harris, or at least minimize his touches or defend him better so that he doesn't, he just can't shoot over people. They may throw Randall on him a few times. They'll mix it up between Randall and Bullock on him, because those are two guys that I think could probably keep up with him. You know what I'm saying? But then the Simmons factor is the big factor, and this is where Barrett has to step up, because if you're gonna have Randall taking on a Harris, to defend him, because Randall's gonna score. He could get his. But he's extending energy also on the defensive side of the ball. And that's where, if he's gonna extend that much energy, that's why Barrett has to step up that much more. We need him to play bully ball and get some people in foul trouble in the process. Don't bail people out by throwing them weak shots, them teardrops that they don't fall for him. You know what I'm saying? You want to take it to the basket. You want to play bully ball. You want to get that other team in foul trouble. Now, again, the X factor is going to be Dwight Howard, because he plays solid D in that paint.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make it easier to attack the basket. But if you attack, he's not going to get every block. He's going to foul too. So we got to get him in foul trouble. So that way we can, be more successful on the offensive side of the ball. But I do believe that Tibbs is going to make the adjustment. So I do expect them to play a much better game tonight. And if a lot of those guys are not playing because of whatever ailments, injuries, protocols, or what have you, that's even better for us. We just got to come in there and defend home court and play disciplined basketball and make sure that we force the ball to the guys that shouldn't beat us. And if they beat us, more power to them. But I'll take it out of their strengths. Tobias Harris, I'll take it out of Simmons' hands. I'll do whatever I gotta do to force somebody else to be. And to a lesser extent, Green. Go ahead, 2.0. Give us your take.
I just want to remind everyone that it wasn't Simmons who won that game for them the last time around, okay? And it wasn't poor defense by RJ that lost that game, okay? It was, and I'm not going to say poor defense, because, great shooters get hot, and they're going to get theirs no matter who's guarding you, right? So it was Harris against Randall. It was Harris against Randall, and Harris won that matchup. Secondly, it was 14 points in the fourth quarter. So poor offense, poor defense, poor everything, just about. And it had nothing to do with Simmons and Randall. They canceled each other out. One scored 16, one scored 17. That was not the point. It was Harris and, of course, Mr. Baby Splash. Okay? That turned the game around. At one point, he's like, wah, wah, wah. And all of a sudden, wow, we were deflated. Okay? So, and then Tobias Harris took over in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. And that's what Randall's job was supposed to be. And he ended up with 19 points. So he had, 15 rebounds, 8 assists, but 19 points. And I need his 25. I need 25 plus from Randall. That's my star. Just like everybody got a star that's going to give you 25 plus a game. Randall is ours. Randall is ours. So
But
you may not want to put that on his shoulders, but that is what it is.
but
He's
We,
our
we
number one
we're not
option.
denying. We're not
you got
denying
more
that
than that.
Randall's.
Huh?
Go ahead,
Hey, Bill.
Santana.
We're
No, well,
not
the point I
denying.
was going to make is,
Go ahead, Bill. Then I'll go after you.
um, he gave us 17 assists. 17 assists is at least 34 points because some
But
of
that
those.
wasn't the game against Philadelphia. That was not the game against Philadelphia. I'm talking about the game against Philadelphia.
I'm talking about last game though, which he has the potential to do this game. If he can give us a bunch of assists, that equates to the points that he may or may not be scoring. What do you have? Many points you said he had? What, 18, 19 points?
He had 19 points and 8 assists.
And in that previous game. But
In the
very last game
points.
but the very last game, he had what, 18 points and 17 assists.
But I'm talking about matchups. I'm talking about matchups and what we need to do coming into this game. He needs to shut down. If not him, then Bullock needs to play defense on there. Because Randall doesn't want to go out there. He can't guard nobody in the 3-point line. Bullock is more mobile. Bullock can probably guard somebody out in the 3-point line. But Harris is too quick for Randall.
Well, then I will trust the coaching staff to make those adjustments with regard to guarding Harris. However, if I can get 15 another Randall, I'll take that. He can give me give me 16 points if he's going to give me 16 assists.
He's not going to give you that every day. Now, come on, Bill.
Okay, let me respond now, because you threw out the question, the challenge. Now let me respond. So you're making an argument, Henry, about the fact that Randall has to do more than the 19 points or 18 points. He got to give you 30. Okay, that's the expectation, and we're not shying away from it. I'm not shying away from it. Let me finish. 25. Okay, 25 to 30, whatever it is.
Okay,
25 to 30. Okay, and all I've been saying throughout this process is, if you want him to have 25 to 30 and close a game, you need help to get you there, because he can't be carrying the load from the first quarter to the fourth. That's the problem. Okay, because we're asking him not only to score, we're asking him to defend their best player more times than not, most of the time, throughout an entire game. How do you expect him to be able to close out a game? Wait a minute. You're expecting 25 to 30. You said it.
Yes.
Okay, so if you're expecting that, you got to take into account, okay, if you want him to deliver that and you want him to be able to close the game, other people got to step up also. You can't put it all on Randall. And that's what you're saying, because he's the number one option. Yeah, he's the number one option.
I'm not saying that everything has to be on him.
It is.
He has to give me that production. Everybody else has to give me their.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're expecting him to close out the game. You're saying,
I didn't say all of that.
Wait a minute. You're saying Tobias Harris had the fourth quarter on him. He did his job against them. Okay, you got to take
somebody else on defense on him.
I said again.
Put somebody else to play defense. Don't make him play defense and offense. That's a coach's decision. Put somebody else to play defense on their best man. And that's what you got Bullock for.
Listen, this is why during the playoffs, when you see major teams playing against each other, you don't have the superstars playing each other in the first, second, third quarters. They wait to the fourth.
Talk to Dibs about it.
Okay, yeah, but in order for that to happen with the Knicks, other guys got to step up. If the other guys don't step, they can't stop this guy. The only one left to defend is Randall, whether he's defending somebody in the perimeter or in the low post. And he has proven to defend people in the perimeter, whether it was Sabonis from Indiana, okay? Whether it's Tobias from Philadelphia. He's going to play wherever he has to play. The question is, if you expect him to be able to close out in the fourth quarter or produce more than what he's been able to produce, other people got to step up. That's the bottom line, bruh. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead. Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
2.0.
That's it. I don't have anything to add to what I said.
Okay.
And I'm not the one that's saying that he has to close out the game or anything like that. I don't care how he gets his 30 points. I'm talking about he's got to get his 25 points. He's got to get his 25 points because just like the other team, he's got somebody, scoring 30 on me. I got to have somebody scoring 30 on them. So then don't have him playing both sides of the ball. Play the best man and still score the most points because all I need from him is to be the number one option. He wants to go out there and get 18 rebounds, go ahead. But I don't need your 18 rebounds. I need your 30 points and maybe 10 assists.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. 18 rebounds
He never
contribute
gets
to
18
a
rebounds.
victory, bro.
He doesn't get 18 rebounds. I'm just saying 50. He usually gets 50.
Whatever amount, whatever he's producing, 17 assists, 18 rebounds, you carve it out whichever way, it's still contributing to the win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But don't take away from the focus of what I'm saying, that he has to put in those points. Because points is what, at the end of the game, is what makes a difference. We lost that game by 3 points and he had 18 points. We lost that game by 3 and he only had 18. If he had 25, we win by 3.
So it's his fault we lost that game.
That's your word, not mine.
But you're putting it on him.
He's the number one option. Didn't you tell me that he was the number one option?
Yo, brother, you talking in
What is
circles,
it? Is
man.
he the
You
number one
talking in
option?
circles. You talking in
What do
circles,
you
man.
want? You
Listen,
want him to be the number one option, but he's not
he is.
responsible for winning
He
or losing
is.
the game.
Listen, but you saying it's my words, but wait a minute. If he's contributing in all these different ways, what more can he possibly do?
Score 25.
All right, go ahead, Bill.
And also, you forget in that last game against the Sixers, the very last game that we played them, whenever that was, 2 games ago,
Right?
didn't we all come to the consensus that he was tired? You can visibly see that
Yeah, you're freezing again, Bill.
why was he tired? Because of the coach that's playing every drop of sweat out of the man's body. So therefore, we were saying that the coach needs to rest him in certain times, which he did last game, against Orlando. He rested him in opportune times so that he can get enough rest to come in that fourth quarter and ball out.
Excuse me.
Yes,
May I point something out here, Bill Stradamus?
Of course you may.
Yes. Well, you know what? That last game against the Magic, you know how much he rested him?
Well, he played
40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Yeah, is that right?
But I don't know if you were even watching the chat. There was a particular point in the game in that where he was resting. He was resting Randall, and I was like, good. I was like, that is very good because I know he's going to bring him back in, to go down the stretch. He brought him in. I don't remember exactly at what minute point, but it was enough rest for him to be able to come back in and still boogie. So, I was giving Tibbs some coaching flowers.
Yeah.
Because when he does, in our eyes, when he does wrong, we get on him.
Yeah.
Okay. And he probably have to play him 40 minutes today. However, if he does it strategically, and not give him, don't play him the first 38 minutes and then try to throw him in there for the last 2 minutes of the game and expect him to be able to do anything. You can't, you just can't do that. You have to be strategic in how you give out the minutes if you're gonna overwork them, which is what Tibbs is known to do to his players. He drains them. He does. Yeah. So, but I don't know how their practices are. Maybe he's challenging them to, and maybe his theory is, listen, whoever's playing, they can play up to 45 minutes. I don't know. It seems like that's where Tibbs goes with them. However, against certain teams, that is just not going to work. So,
and again, much time on the floor is what led to them only scoring 14 points in the fourth quarter against the Sixers. They did much better against the Magic, but they only scored 22 points in that fourth quarter and allowed 27. Okay, in the other game they scored 14 and allowed 26. So the defense drops, the offensive production drops, and it's like whatever he's doing, at the end of the game, they they lose some kind of steam. They don't have the same amount of energy coming into the game as going on. It's understandable, but other teams are still in their stride. They're still scoring 20 plus points. We're scoring around 20 points in the fourth quarter. We're not going to win many of those games. So you better call this, man. You better put in the word. Do whatever it is that you have to do, and let him know. But if he continues to play those guys the way he's playing them, okay, we're gonna get somewhere between 6 and 10. At the end of the year. Okay, maybe we'll get to the play-in game instead of the playoff game.
Or maybe we'll get to the playoff game instead of the play-in game.
Yes. Or we playing off at Rucker Park.
Now, this is the thing. I think we all agree. I don't think anybody's disputing here the way that Tibbs, overuses his players in terms of minutes. I don't think that's a debate. It's not even an issue. We're all on the same page. We all feel that Tibbs needs to be more judicious with the distribution of minutes to put people in a position to be at their best, especially towards the end of games.
Right.
Okay? And able to close out games. Okay? The issue here is, okay, you raise about 2.0. You raise, okay, we scored only 14 points in the fourth quarter. We only scored 21 points in the other quarter, stuff like that. But we also have to take into account who we're playing against. We're playing against teams that play defense, specifically the Magic and the Sixers. Okay? And the Sixers defense is better than our defense right now. They're number 2 in defensive rating in the league, much less the Knicks are below them. Okay? The Magic, I think they're in the top 10 in defensive rating. And so, as much as, we want to score as many points as we possibly can, we also have to take into account who's our opponent that we're going up against, and do they have a defensive strategy or philosophy? And that's a factor too. We're not going to be, and we're not the type of team that can score 30 points every single quarter. We don't have that kind of firepower. The reality is that we're going to score between 20, maybe 25 on average. Okay. And if we average it out, maybe 26. I'll say 26 because I think we average 105, I think, offensive points per game. Something like that.
And we give up about the same. It's something similar to that. Yeah.
Exactly. So, that's our benchmark right now. Love it or hate it, that's what it is. Okay? So, I hear you when you say, well, we got to score more than 14 points in 20. Yeah, I agree. But we also have to take into account who are we going up against, because those teams, they play solid defense to limit our offense. So that's going to be a contributing factor. That's what I'm going to say. So go ahead, Bill.
And that's all of that. What you just said is true until we get a proven second option. Right now, we don't have that. And with that being said, I pass it right back over to 2.0. I pass it to you, 2.0.
Let me get you straight on some stuff here. Points allowed per game. Okay, points allowed per game. That's what you're talking about, defensive rating. Okay, the one team that allows the most points, Grizzlies, 110. The second team that allows the most points, Sixers at 109. So don't tell me that their defense is better than ours.
Go look for the stats that says team ratings on the defensive side.
Oh, okay. Because I'm
Not
talking about
points
points
allowed. Not points
allowed.
allowed.
It's the
Don't go points
defense, right?
allowed.
The defense allows a certain amount of
Team
points.
rankings. Teams rankings.
Okay, because I mean I understand that we down the list. Okay, we're down the list down there at allowing 104.9. We are all the way down in 21st, but that's points allowed. What we allow other teams to score on us. So I don't know what this means again, but I'm just saying that in terms of the numbers themselves, we allow less points per game than the Sixers do. So I don't know how that translates into the defense, but to me, it says that we play in better defense than they do.
All right, I dropped
Points
in.
per game allowed.
All
Or
right,
is that we scoring. Is that what we score?
I just dropped the link in the chat, so you could use that. You know, you could. That's the source that I'm using to give you some information.
They call it defense stats.
I don't know, whatever you
don't know
have,
what
but
that
there's another source called teamrankings.com, and you could go in there. You could look up offensive ratings, and you could look up defensive ratings.
Okay.
And there you'll be able to see. Now things have changed because they played games between the last time that I checked this and currently. But I know that they were ranked right behind the Lakers. The Lakers were ranked number 1 in team defense in ratings. Okay.
They allow 106.1 according to this thing.
Okay, I don't know. We got to check the source.
Yeah.
That's all I can tell. I'm sharing with you team rankings, and that shows you, you know, if you do it by defensive rating and you do it by offensive rating, you're gonna get a different picture.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not just throwing stuff out there.
I'm
based on that source.
This is National Basketball Association defensive stats.
Okay.
Now, what I'm saying is, are we in agreement that we allow 104.9 points per game?
I don't know. I got to look at the numbers. I
You
got to
just
look.
said we allow around 105 points a game.
I got to look at it. I got to look at it.
Around 105 points. That's what we give up.
That's where we were, you know, holding teams to.
That's what we hold. That's what we allow. That's what we hold them down to.
That's in the past. That's what it's been. I don't know what it is today. I have to look at it.
So
but the point that I'm making is, just as much as we're holding teams, we also have to look at how many points we're scoring.
Right.
Okay. And we're averaging, on average, 25 to 26 points per quarter.
Yes.
Which amounts to 105, I think, per game.
So we give up as much as we
score. Exactly.
And we're a 500 team, you know, so.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So the numbers match up there. But, you know, this is something that you got to look at when you're looking at, okay, well, we should be able to score more than 20 points in a given quarter. Well, that depends on who we're playing against. If we're playing against the Nets, then, yeah, we should be scoring at least 30 points in a quarter. But when we're playing the Sixers, or we're playing the Magic, or we're playing the Lakers, who have a better defensive rating, you know, we can hope to perform better than 20 points per quarter. But the reality is that we're not, because our average is 25 per quarter. Okay, our average. And then if you're talking about team rating by another team that their defense is tight, that's going to hold that number down. We may get a quarter here or there that will score beyond our average, but chances are we're not. So that's all I'm saying. You know, you got to factor those things too, because it's easy to say, yeah, we should score 30 points every quarter. Yeah, that's wishful thinking. But when you look at the stats and you analyze the stats, it's a little different.
My words, 20. You go into 30 right away.
I'm saying
120 points a game.
I'm saying
a team of 120 points a game.
I'm saying
it's a little bit extreme for you to put it out. I don't think that you really believe that we can score 30 points a quarter. But we haven't proven to be that type of team.
What I'm saying is, if anybody, whether it's you or anybody else for that matter, expects the Knicks to score between 25 to 30 points,
20 and 25. Stop using the word 30. I don't expect 30. You expect 30 if you're saying that.
listen. I said whether it's you or anyone else for that
Other
matter.
people, not me.
Okay, whatever. Anybody that expects the Knicks to score between 25 or 26 to 30 points is unrealistic.
Okay.
Especially without a good second option.
Because
Say it again, Bill. Say it again. Good, consistent,
listen, Bill,
consistent.
Second option.
you guys. You better hope that second option by committee works, because that's all you got right now.
That is what we do. That is we have to hope that
second option by committee works out, and that point guard by committee works out until you get something different, because otherwise this is who we got. So we have to continue to make our predictions and our expectations about getting into the playoff based on what our reality is today. And the reality today is, say it again, Bill, second option by
Mr. 2.0.
By default. By default. By default.
By committee.
By default.
Default is more like it. By default.
Okay? So you better hope that default works out for you.
I hope it works out every game.
Every game.
Until we get that second option.
We only need it for 50% of the rest of the season. And we'll be good. We don't need every game.
Why not? We're trying to be a
we're trying to be a top team. Win every game?
Well, I want to win every game. I know that we're not going to win every game.
That's not realistic. That's all.
Because we don't have a consistent second option. If we had a consistent second option, what is our record? 21 and 21? I would submit that we'd be something more like maybe 27 and 14. If we had a consistent second option, I think we would be maybe a good 7 points, 7 games better than we are now.
Bill.
Yes, sir.
14, you want to be the Bucks, huh?
Yeah.
That's what the Bucks are.
Because they have a consistent second option.
And you think that this second option is going to make us the Bucks?
If we had one, we probably would.
Of course.
They have one. They have a consistent second option.
Okay, so are you living in this if world now? What's the reality, Bill?
The reality is the Milwaukee Bucks have a consistent second option. The New York Knicks do not as yet.
So what's the reality? That we are going to be who we are with what we've got. And what we got is second option by committee. and without that committee, we ain't gonna be 5th, 6th, or 7th. We're gonna be 8, 9, or 10. Throw in the towel, Bill.
I'm waving the white flag on you because committee.
The committee, man.
Your committee.
Who's going to be our point guard today? The committee.
Hopefully is one of the killer bees.
Burks.
Oh, Burks. Oh, you want Burks at the point guard?
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. He can handle it.
Yeah.
He can handle it. Okay. Yes. But you're gonna need the other killer bees to step in there and do their thing, right? The rest of the committee.
Well, call up your son, your son right now, and tell him what you expect him to do today.
Okay.
Tonight. Give him a call.
Who? Frankie?
Your son.
Oh, Frankie? No. RJ.
Yeah, isn't that your son?
Say his name. Say his name, Bill.
Mr. Barrett.
When he gives you 30 points.
Mr. Barrett Cardoza.
Yes,
RJ Cardoza. That's who I want. I want you to give him a call and tell him what we're expecting from him tonight.
Okay. I want him to do 25, 12, and 6 assists. 8 assists.
Wow. Okay. All right.
12 and 8 assists.
You know, I wish he does that.
I
I
wish he
really
does
do.
too.
I really do. I really do.
If he
That's what
gives
I
us
want to
that,
see.
if he does that tonight, more than likely we'll win that game. If he does
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We want him to do that consistently.
Not the committee, though, right?
We want him to do that
What do you want?
consistently.
What do you want from Burks? What do you want Burks to do?
I want
He
him to
just
play
has to
like he played,
manage the game.
right.
Manage the game.
Do
Manage
a
the
lot
game.
of what he did in the last game.
He also had 21 points, by the way.
Yeah.
So not only did he manage the game, but he managed to score 21 points.
Mhm.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what he does this game. You know, again, it's a hit or miss. They could be hot one game and off the next. That's what we've come to expect
Right.
until proven otherwise.
Right.
Until they show consistency. That's the albatross on their backs. Consistency.
That's why I count on the committee. When one is off, the other one's got to be on. So the Killer Bees, one of them got to give me 25, and the other two can give me 15. That's the committee. Because I cannot count on any one of them to give me 25 every night. But I can count on 15, and one of them got to come off with 25. Bullock has done it. Burks has done it. And Barrett has done it.
Listen, if they as a trio carry their weight of double figures, then we have a better chance.
Yeah.
But we don't know that.
Okay.
All we know is what they do on the day they play. And chances are they more times than not, maybe one out of the three is going to give you
Right.
some kind of number.
Right.
That's just the reality, bro.
Which
And
is why they had the name to kill us bees.
Yo, but listen,
same
in
game.
that Philadelphia game, it was 19, 17, and 12.
Again, it's an aberration. It's one game. Name another game where all three of them had that kind of numbers.
Okay.
Please,
I'm gonna
please
go
do
right
that.
now. Wait a minute.
Please do. Please do. Find that game.
Knicks
Because
and
they're
what
few
was
and
the
far
last game,
apart.
Magic?
They're few and far apart. That's the problem. We need consistency. You can have, you call it committee, right? If you have this, scoring by committee and stuff like that, then let that consistent trio or that trio be more consistent. Then we could accept, second option by committee.
So this is the last two games, okay? Against the Magic, 21, 17, and 20. That's the Killer Bees. I'll repeat, 21.
That's the game. That's the game that we're not arguing that game.
You're not
We're
listening.
not arguing that
You're not
game.
listening. Yes, you are. You told me to show you another game, right?
Go
I'm
ahead.
giving you the games.
Well, you picked their best game.
That's the game.
Two games.
We're not debating the Orlando game.
Last two games. This is about what have you done for me lately, right? What have you done for me lately? The last two games against the Magic, it was 21 for Burks. Okay,
You said that. What's the other game?
For Barrett, it was 20 for Bullock.
What's the other game?
Against the Sixers, the game before that, it was 12 for Bullock, 17 for Barrett, and 19 for Burks. You got second option by committee.
How many?
If I get double figures in all of these games by these three,
That's two games. That's two games. How many games they play? 40 games? 42 games?
For me
42.
There's 42 games.
First you tell
That's
me
a small sample size.
game, I give
That's
you
a small
the very
sample
last
size.
game, and that's not good enough.
No, it's not. That's a small sample size.
What do you want to go to the game before that?
That's a small sample size. Okay, I could reverse that and say, look, Randall, he only gave us one subpar game out of 42 games.
Who?
Randall.
U-Haul.
That's a bigger sample size.
To Randall.
Listen, you're making an argument for two games, okay?
No, I'm not. I did not make an argument for 2 games. You told me, show me another game. I'll show you
On
another
a consistent
game,
basis.
and then
Okay,
you
but
tell
that's
me
not
that's
enough.
legitimate.
That's not enough. 2 games
I'm
out of
not
42.
saying that. I was just telling you 1 game. And then you told me, well, show me another
Wait a
game.
minute. Wait a
So I
minute.
showed you another game.
Okay.
Who the
So
last game at before that?
so,
Now
so
I
let
want to
me.
know the game before that. Who they played
Okay, go
before
ahead.
that?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Who they played
Go
before
ahead.
that, Bill?
Go ahead.
Brooklyn.
Huh?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
They're in Brooklyn. Let me see. Was it Brooklyn? Nets. Yeah, that was the 117-112 game, right?
Mm-hmm. What did the Killer Bees do then?
19 for Bullock, 23 for RJ, and 12 for Alex Burke.
And we lost 2 out of 3.
But you told me that if you get double figures by them, then we
No, that's your argument because you're talking about the
By
what is
committee.
it? By committee, second option by committee. So
Yeah.
based on that theory, we should be all right.
Yeah,
We should be all right, but we lost 2 out of 3.
because your boy Randall couldn't play defense on Harris. Oh, yeah, and let me tell you another one. Now that I got you laughing, the Nets weren't laughing in those last 2 minutes. They were scared because we came back from 18, okay, behind that Killer Bees, behind that second option by committee. They came back from 18. Okay?
And then Randall lost it for us in the end.
Randall lost it? I don't know.
That's what you said.
That's what
That's what you said.
Because he don't play D and this and that.
I'm serious. We got a couple of back calls at the end. We got a couple of, jump balls and a couple of, situations where, and then Randall got the ball stripped from him, but didn't drop it. And they want to argue that it wasn't an up and down. Now, I don't know how long, how he could even argue that shit. That's up and down, man. You walk
or a jump ball.
Jump ball. It could no, I don't think that's a jump ball. He didn't have his hand on it like that. He just slapped it off his hand. So I'm not going to make excuses for Randall, man. I'm not going to make excuses for the Knicks. Anything that they do wrong, that is an up and down.
All you've done is make excuses for one particular player.
No, I'm not making excuses for anybody.
You don't make for Mr. Cardozo. You don't make excuses for your son.
No, I do not make excuses for my son.
Listen, don't expect him to admit anything, bro. He didn't even want to admit the conversation we had yesterday, bro.
I never had a conversation with him yesterday. He was talking to somebody else. Okay. So you gotta listen. That COVID test, you sure that went all right with you because you came out of it, like with different conversations in your head that you were having with me about
Wow. That's all I gotta say, brother. Wow. I'm gonna record the conversation the next time, bro. So I could do the Warner Wolf on your ass. That's what I have to do with you, bro.
You're sounding like my wife. We talked about this yesterday. What? That's what my wife does to me. Are you guys kidding me? Listen,
and apparently your son too. Didn't he put up there old people be lying?
That's what he said. Yeah.
So we're all wrong and he's right. That's what this is. We're all making it up, but he's right. Yeah, okay.
That sounds like somebody who we had running the country up until a couple of months ago.
Yes.
2-point Trump.
Listen. Tonight, last time it was 99-96. Let me see. Philadelphia, they play the Kings yesterday and scored 129 on them. I know that they don't play much defense, but Philadelphia, they without Noel, without Embiid, without Curry, and without what's this other guy? Their point guard. They scored 129.
Simmons?
Simmons. They scored 129 without those three guys.
They got a top 10 offense, man. So, you know, in the
And
league.
they have a good coach too. So
Yeah.
Danny Green, Tony Bradley, Shake Milton, 28. Those guys. Well, okay. Listen, I'll take my chances against any one of them, not producing the same amount again. You ain't getting no 28 for Shake Milton twice in a row in the second
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, no.
You never know. My prediction is we're still going to hold them down to their 105. Okay, if anything, and we're going to do 112.
So let's predict scores, fellas.
112, 105, Knicks.
Okay.
112 to 105.
Sir.
Okay. I'll see your 112 to 105, and I'll raise you.
Woo!
One. Actually, I'm not going to raise you because again, these are good defensive teams. So I'll go 1 to 98. New York.
Say it again, though, Bill, because you broke up, Bill. I
Oh,
didn't
I'm
hear
sorry.
you.
110 to 98, New York.
Wow, that's even better than mine.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. 12 points. I got 7 points. You got a 12-point win.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because Baby Splash is not playing, and and Simmons may not play.
Simmons may not play.
So I'll go in there with that.
Okay, they're coming to get me.
I'm gonna call it 105, 103.
105. Oh, that's
Next.
Nice.
Yeah, 105, 103 Knicks. It's gonna be a close game, and it'll be a tight game in spite of whoever's playing and who isn't playing.
okay. So you're expecting those second level players from Philly to bring out their best against the Knicks.
I'm not underestimating anybody, bro.
Okay.
There's a reason why they're number 2 or number 3 in the Eastern
East.
Conference.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
It's called Joel Embiid and
Hey, man, I have my reason like you have yours, brother. You know what I'm saying?
They
I'm
just
not
beat us without
disputing
Joel
yours.
Embiid. They just beat us without Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Right. But they ain't gonna beat us without Joel Embiid again.
I hope so.
That's
I
me
hope so.
You're right.
talking as a Knicks fan. What do you say?
I hope so.
Oh, you're not a Knicks fan then? Oh, you're just an NBA fan. As a Knicks fan, what do you say?
I said the Knicks are going to win 105 to 103.
Huh?
That's what I said. I said the Knicks are going to win 105 to 103.
Okay.
That's what I said.
They're not going to beat us without Joel Embiid again.
Okay.
That's what you're saying.
No, we're saying we hope you are 100% right.
That's all we said.
110 to 98, Bill. So what's up? You backing up? You backing down?
No.
They're not going to beat us again without Joel Embiid. You guys had just said that when you said 105, 103, 110 to 98. They're not.
So what are you trying to prove? We already said it. So what's your point?
Well, no, I'm just wondering if that's.
We already answered it.
And you're saying no, that's not what you're saying.
All I say 105, 103. Knicks win. That's it.
All right. They're not going to beat us without Joel Embiid again.
You answer your own question, bro. I don't have to answer that question. I already told you my score.
We've lost to them twice this season. Once with Joel Embiid, once without Joel Embiid.
Yes.
And then tonight, we'll see. However,
that's not very hopeful.
We're Nick. Our predictions prove that we,
Okay. Well,
what we feel is going to happen.
It's going to be the Killer Bees again.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I really hope so. Listen, if this is the start of a new trend for them being consistent, more power to them.
Absolutely.
To us. More power to us.
Okay. Okay.
What about you two guys? Listen, fellas. So
Okay, we gotta wrap it up,
we
fellas. We gotta wrap it
appreciate
up.
Oh man, I loved it.
your
This
input.
was a very fun show.
Yes, it
I give you the MVP of the show 2.0 because you had us in stitches
is.
for the past
2
hour and
hours,
change,
almost 2 hours.
almost 2 hours.
Never
So
forget it.
you are the MVP today.
For the rest of the season, it is going to be point guard by committee, second option by committee, and even center by committee for the rest of this year until things change otherwise. So in the meantime, fellas, as we do when we come to the conclusion of every show, once a Nick,
Always a Nick.
Nick.
All right, fellas, man. We'll pick it up at game time tonight,
time,
man,
man.
in the chat.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Talk to you later, man. Enjoy the day.
Yes.
All right, Bill.